Welcome back to continuing coverage of the Zotac 25. This is going to be the second game of the finals between SeleCT and mTwDIMAGA. It's mTwDIMAGA taking that first game, just macroing up too hard for SeleCT. SeleCT finally pushes out and meets his doom due to a Baneling, Ultralisk, Zergling army with a couple Infestors thrown in the mix. SeleCT was the one to choose the map because he was the loser of the first game. We'll see if he has a strategy planned for Lost Temple. Generally, Zergs do not like Lost Temple. Introducing our players, SeleCT spawning at the 9 o'clock position versus mTwDIMAGA spawning at the 3 o'clock position in blue. SeleCT spawning in red. Taking just a quick look at our map, they are cross position, long rush distance. It's going to take a while for SeleCT to finally scout mTwDIMAGA. The downside being is even if mTwDIMAGA wants to take this first hatchery, this cliff right here plays so many roles in games. The Terran player can have a tank drop on here too quickly for a Zerg player to have almost anything. Except for if he decides to skip Zergling speed, I believe he can have mutalisks out on the field, but it's extremely close, and it's still a risky move. And is he actually going to go right for that hatchery? No, he's just going out to scout. I love the way he scouts with his Overlord and immediately scouts with a drone. He doesn't want to be surprised by anything. Taking a look at our Terran space, not going to do that same Reaper thing he did the first time. Going more for a standard. I assume he's going to go barracks in the factory. Given the timing of these two things, supply followed by refinery generally means we're going to see Hellions. At least that's the way it's been in the past. mTwDIMAGA is doing his thing. It looks like he's actually going to opt for that 16 hatch, so he is going to go with that risky early expansion. We'll see if this pays off for him, or if the fact that our Terran player is teching the factory so quickly, going to have that starport out so quickly, if he's going to be able to get that tank drop and deal that critical damage. mTwDIMAGA is going to be in an interesting position to defend this. We'll see what he decides to do. Barracks almost done. Probably going to see that factory as soon as that barracks is done. Both players bringing up that production tab, doing the normal thing, spawning pool just now going down. Finally, SeleCT's going to pass it Overlord. He's probably going to know exactly where mTwDIMAGA is. But at this point, he's already checked everywhere else, so it doesn't even matter. And here we go, mTwDIMAGA Scout finally making it into his base, going to see what's going on. He's going to see, and look at that gas steal. This is huge. If your Terran player is trying to tech and you take away a gas, you're going to slow everything down. Siege tank, medevac is a lot of gas. I think you're looking at about 350 gas for those 3 items alone, and it's much harder to do that very quickly off of 1 gas. Huge to steal 1 gas. The other thing to note is there's only 25 minerals and it's a drone you probably would have lost. And yes, he's going to go Hellion with a reactor, I imagine. Reactor down, factory down. SeleCT is now getting a scout on. He knows what's up. He sees this early expansion. He knows mTwDIMAGA is playing the macro game. He's probably going to go for a drop, but we'll soon see how he decides to respond. If Hellions are going to be enough, or if he's going to have to get that air to get that drop on that cliff where he's going to be nice and protected. Jumping back toward Terran place, he's definitely going for Hellions, not going to get that siege tank drop, and mTwDIMAGA canceled this and re-put it back down just to slow down that process for that Terran player as much as possible. Throwing down 1 creep crawler. Zergling's chasing this scout out. He's done. You have gotten enough information, Mr. SCV. It is time for you to leave. You've overextended your stay. Jumping to our Zerg's base, we're about to see Lair possibly. He's up to 100 gas now, and he has yet to get Ling speed, so I'm curious where he's going to go with this, if he's going to opt to get the Ling speed now, or if he's going to go right into a Lair to get those Niduses and drops out twice as fast. It would be dangerous to go such a high-tech route with these Hellions on the field, however. And look at this. Is this the drone? I thought he was going to get another gas steal, getting all that valuable scouting information. It looks like, no, I was going to say, it looked like SeleCT was going to wait for 4 Hellions before he pushes out, but the first 2 are going to be enough. Creating 2 more Hellions now, sending out an SCV with him, maybe to repair, maybe just to scout. 1 creep crawler, just a couple Zerglings. Bring up the units tab. Yes, 6 Zerglings versus 2 Hellions is going to be very tough for these Zerglings to deal with these Hellions. Coming into the base, no backing out, sees that creep crawler, knows it's no good. Backing right on out. I thought he might run by and see what else he could find, but he'd run right into these Zerglings, and I think it would just be too much. Finally spreading that creep and adding on another spine crawler as his main. Doesn't want these Hellions to do any damage. Taking guys off of gas, interestingly, after he has enough 100 gas for his Ling speed, has enough gas for his Lair, but opting just to macro up, get his minerals in order, get his drones in order, and 4 Hellions. Here we go. We'll see what kind of damage these 4 Hellions are going to be able to do against mTwDIMAGA's. No, he's going to back right out again. Not even going to push in. Already up to 4 Hellions, but not going to do any damage with them so far. This is going to be extremely interesting what he's going to do, because he's just delaying any kind of damage and giving mTwDIMAGA more time to drone up. He doesn't want to do this. And here we go, switching the tech lab with the barracks. Looks like he might be going to be going for that tank drop we mentioned earlier. But no, he's not throwing down a supply depot yet. He's going armory, so we're probably going to see Thors very soon. Actually, no, he does have a starport. He hit it down here. I apologize. He's too sneaky for me. Here we go. 4 Hellions about to be dropped. Looks like he's gonna bind them to go here. But look at this. DIMAGA's got his Zerglings running in a circle, just doing that fancy Zergling run. And it looks like these Hellions are probably going to be sniped as soon as they drop with this number of Zerglings here, but only time will tell if his dropship micro is going to be enough to prevent this. 4 Hellions coming in, about to be, instantly picked up. He's probably going to drop burn, drop burn, drop burn. Look at the way he's just dropping them and getting a shot off, forced to back up. That Queen is just too much for that dropship. Dropship already lost 48 HP. I really like the way he hit that starport down there, especially the way DIMAGA was being pesky with that drone. Here we go, setting up for his expansion. Thor is almost done. He's going to go for a Thor drop. This could be huge, but the downside is DIMAGA. Look at this. 3 creep crawlers, a Spire. I thought that might have been a creep crawler, so I pointed out, and another creep crawler. So he's got 4 static defenses as Thor. Maybe in trouble if it tries to land anywhere, but the big thing to note is he is going air, and Magic Box is very good against Thors, bringing that original fight between those two back in order. Here we go, creep crawlers, creep colonies, spreading out, creep tumors even. I am having problems with my words. Thor is done. He's going for that Thor drop. I believe he has to have at least 1 Thor out, I'm sure. Where are you hiding, Thor? Here you are, trying to get that Overlord. Wisely decides not to. Thors do not do a lot of damage against armored flying units. And here he goes, taking out that first creep crawler. I keep wanting to call them spine crawlers. I keep wanting to call them something else. They are, in fact, spine crawlers. They're not creep crawlers. Taking out this hatch. Neither of these creep crawlers can touch it. This hatch may go down, but no, he's finally lifting up those creep crawlers, putting them in position. But the burrow time in these are just so huge. We'll see if it's going to be enough. Hellions finally coming in to back it up. Queen poking away. Zergling's just standing at the top of the hill, just bringing up this Thor's HP. He's about to take out that last creep crawler, and no! Terrible position right now for DIMAGA. DIMAGA needs to do something, and look at the transfusions on those Queens. First Queen down, and look, he picks it up and drops it back down. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. He's not going to let that Thor go. Select is just microing that Thor absolutely flawlessly. This hatch is in real trouble right now. He's throwing up 3 creep crawlers, but it's not going to be enough. Hatch goes down. Absolutely devastating blow. I thought he'd have to do it with siege tanks, but he found a way to do it with a Thor. Very impressive. And here we are, Hellions in the back of the base, trying to get any Zerglings they can. Not getting any Zerglings at all. And look at that. It's burning the tree. That is cool. I did not know Blizzard had that ability to do that. It burnt that tree up there. And here we are, Hellions finally put down, not getting a whole lot of drones, bringing up this incom tab, 35 harvesters to 32. DIMAGA now behind, and look, Select has got an expansion. DIMAGA does not. Not the position our Zerg player wants to be in, not at all. DIMAGA just producing up a storm. Thor's on the way. Another Thor drop coming, and looks like he's got, yes, 8 Marines inside of this. Thor drop 8 Marines. This is going to be extremely devastating to DIMAGA. DIMAGA just now getting Mutalised, just now getting Glial Reconstitution to bring those roaches out on the field. And DIMAGA losing an Overlord, bringing up that army tab 54 to 65. DIMAGA is now behind, and look at this. Those Mutalised trying to do any damage they can, but it's not going to be enough. Too many Thors, too many Marines, forced to back out. DIMAGA needs to do some kind of damage to slow down our Terran players' assault. Terran players taking over the map and taking down DIMAGA at the same time, but DIMAGA is taking a 3rd hidden expansion to go with this expansion. He's double expanding. Very wise move. You want to be a little spread out against your Terran players. Your Terran player lacks mobility, though these dropships are doing everything they can to take away that Terran's lack of mobility and make it a mobility addition. Here we go. It looks like, is he going to drop again on that same cliff? Yeah, he's going to loop around. I figured he might run into that expansion, but very luckily for DIMAGA, he did not run into that expansion. But oh no, SCV is going to find the expansion. He's going to know about it. This is going to be huge. Dropping again on the same exact cliff. DIMAGA is just in a terrible, terrible position right now. And he doesn't even have vision right now. These Overlords forced to run away. He's going to lose this expansion again, I think. I don't think there's anything he's going to do to stop it. Those Marines are going to kill any kind of sight-giving Overlord too quickly for it to matter. And DIMAGA looks like he's moving across the field. No, just drone transferring. And this hatch is just being gunned down one shot at a time. DIMAGA has absolutely no answer to this right now. I'm not quite sure what he's going to do to get back into this game because he's just losing his hatches as soon as he's putting them down. And I know for a fact, we're going to double check to be sure. Select does in fact know about this hatch down here. This is absolutely huge. He's going to probably just Thor drop right on this cliff. Mutalised finally coming in to try and stop this. Tried to get him, but there's just too many Marines. That Thor is too much. That Thor, oh no, forced to back up again. He tried to get the roaches to do a 2-prong attack, but no, it's not going to matter. Roaches finally getting vision thanks to that Overlord. Thor backing up, Marine backing up. DIMAGA, but the damage is done. DIMAGA lost his hatch, and here we go. Marines and Thors taking out that additional hatchery. DIMAGA is now operating off of one base. Terran is completely saturated on 2, bringing up this income tab. 48 harvesters to 22. All over double the harvesters for our Terran player. DIMAGA trying to get these units that are on a cliff with his Roaches and Mutalisks. His Mutalisks are 2 grouped up. Those are not being magic boxed at all, but he finally survives. Very luckily, but no, here comes another Thor and more Marines. It's going to be too much for this number of Mutalisks. DIMAGA going to lose his Mutalisk army, bring up the units tab. He is now down to 2 Mutalisks. These are the only 2 Mutalisks on the field, and 8 Roaches, and has nothing else to defend himself except for a couple drones. Here come the Roaches. He's going to get this Thor. Thor goes down, going to try and snipe these Marines. Oh, it looks like DIMAGA is actually going to come ahead with this small number of Roaches. There we go, and jumping back to our Terran player's base, however, Terran player completely prepared for this, going siege tanks now. Siege tanks do horrible damage, very, very nice damage. I was going to say horrible damage, as in it does painful damage to our Roaches, because that armored bonus just is crushing to those. And look at this, preparing to take the gold for a 3rd expansion. He is not relenting. DIMAGA again trying to do the same double expansion. He needs to hold this, and again, SeleCT with his just amazing. He knows he's got an empty dropship right here. This dropship wasn't going for a drop. The dropship was just going out for a stroll, and he finds a hatchery. And look at this. Here comes the Bioball. Tanks in position to block anything that tries this to prevent him from going in. He's about to lose his hatch. We'll see if he cancels it. DIMAGA just in a terrible position. Lost Temple is not the map for him, it seems. About to lose his 2nd double expansion. Just not good at all. He needs to get these bases up because he's already behind. He's adding on Banelings to go with his Roach and Mutalisks. And it looks like this is going to be the end. I'm not seeing any way he can come back. Yes, he's good games out. DIMAGA chooses Scrap Station for the 3rd game. 1-1 in the finals. Moving on to the 3rd game. I hope everyone looks forward to it. This was Tizzou.